Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. In today's video, I want to cover the Locator Bar, which is coming in Minecraft 1.21.6. To begin the video, I want to talk about some really cool functions with the Locator Bar, and you can even customize it. And then towards the end of the video, I want to talk about some features I would like to see added to the Locator Bar to make it way more useful, especially to survival players. But before we do both of them, let's quickly just recap what this does. For example, you can see currently down there where my XP bar normally is, you can see the Locator Bar. And for every player that has a locator attached to them, this can be done with commands, or players by default have them. So for every player that has a locator, or for every entity that has a locator, they have this little symbol, which you can see locates where they are, and it changes depending on how far or close you are to the player. Let's say that I've just spawned into an adventure map, and I have to walk through this forest right here. You can see on my locator bar there is a question mark, and if I was to quickly just look in this direction, you can see the question mark is within this direction. And that is because, for example, this adventure map has it so there are certain things located through this forest that you have to find. The first one being obviously this villager, which you can see. This villager is the question mark. And that means that you can kind of hide things within your map without needing to tell the player with signs or maps or things like that. But it can also be good for servers. You can have your own treasure hunt where you hide a load of things within your world. As long as the transmission range is obviously pretty high, then your friends can then go and locate them. Now let me quickly just show you how I made the custom texture. So you need a resource pack, that is all you need. And you obviously need a MC Meta, which is for the latest version. You then need assets. I'm just using the Minecraft directory because it's way easier. We then have waypoint style, and in this I just have mystery. This is what determines where the texture is pulled from. And in this I just have Minecraft question mark. Once again, that is because I'm using the Minecraft directory. If you're using a custom one, this would have to be your custom one. And then from there, all we need is textures, we need GUI, we need sprites, we need HUD, we need locator bar dot. And then inside of here, I have my question mark. Now, you do also need to make sure you grayscale them because obviously they need to be grayscaled so they can use the custom colors. Then once you throw the resource pack on your world, ignore it being called shielding swords. Once it's within your world, all you need to do is go up to the entity. So let's just do another one. Let's say I want another one over here, which was once again to be a question mark. So I summon the mob, and then all I need to do is walk up to it, and I need to do this command right here. So /waypoint, and then we want to modify, and then we want to get the entity we want to modify. So in this case, it's the villager. Then we are doing style, set, and whatever your JSON was called. In my case, it was called mystery. So you can see this villager now has the question mark. And I can also change the color of it. So if I wanted this villager to be a certain color, I can also do set and then color. And then let's say I want this one to be gold. There you go. You can now see I have changed it to gold. The first thing I would like to see with this feature is the ability to have it so you can give pets locators. Because if I was to quickly just summon a wolf and then I was to tame this wolf, the wolf wouldn't give a location. As you can see, there is no locator on my bar until I look over that direction, which is the armor stands. But this wolf isn't giving a locator off. And it would be really cool if there was a game rule to enable this, because currently you can lose your tamed pets. So the command could be as simple as this: game rule, pets have locators, and then this can obviously be true or false depending on if you want it or not. But I think this would be really cool because if you tame yourself a wolf, a cat, or a parrot, you can then always see where they are within the world if you'd want to. And one thing they could also do is you can currently do this with, I think, resource packs, but you can change the symbol right here. So maybe pets have a different symbol. You can see the player symbols are like squarey looking circles. Maybe pets could have a different shape, maybe a heart or something. So that's the first feature I would like to see with this. Going off of entities again, I think you should be able to give any entity a locator tag. Now, obviously, this is possible in creative mode, and it will probably be possible with data packs as well once this fully releases. But I think there should be any way. Maybe it's an item, you click on them, or maybe if you give them a certain name, they can be locatable. But if I was to quickly just summon this is summoning a armor stand with the attributes of waypoint transmit range, which the transmit range means I will be able to see this on my locator bar for up to 1,000 blocks. Anything further than 1,000, and it won't be visible. Now, I can also change this. So if I don't want it to be attached to an armor stand, I can make it attached to any mob within the game. Let's, for example, attach it to a Ghastling. or a normal gas, let's say. So this gas now has a locator bar attached to it. So wherever this gas goes, I can then see where it is within the world, as long as I am within 1,000 blocks. Now this is really cool, but once again, this can only be done with commands. There's no way to do this in survival mode. And this would be such a cool thing if you could do in survival mode, because then you can make maps with friends, or you can do certain things where you hide certain things on locator bars, or even you can trick friends by giving a armor stand or a sheep a locator bar, so the friend thinks they're locating you when they're not. But once again, I think this should be toggable with game rules, so people can disable this if they would like. Now the final thing I want to see with this feature is the ability to make block waystones. At the moment, you can only attach waypoints to entities, but it would be really cool if you could attach them to lodestones. Because, for example, if I was to place this lodestone down in the world, I can click a compass on it to turn it into a lodestone compass, which means this compass will now always lead to this block. So we can kind of simulate this at the moment by just placing a armor stand on top of a waystone and then giving it some data values. So if I quickly just modify the data of invisible, and I can set that value to 1, which 1 in the game is true. You can see we are now simulating this waystone being a waypoint, which it's not, it just is a invisible armor stand, but this would be such a cool feature within the game. And a lot of people are saying that it would take away from lodestone compasses. Well, that is not entirely true, because these waypoints once again are only visible from a certain radius. So this one I have done as a radius of 1,000, but obviously if Minecraft was to add this, they would probably adjust this to a better value. But for example, if I was to click this on there, if I was to go more than 1,000 blocks away from this, as you can see, the bar is slowly getting smaller as I'm flying further and further away. And after 1,000 blocks, it completely vanishes. But as you can see, the lodestone compass works from unlimited range as long as you are within the dimension. So that is why it doesn't take away from this. It just adds that extra step for if you have a village, you can then mark them with the waypoints rather than having to use compasses or another source. Now, let's talk about the final thing I would like to see with this locator bar before we jump to some really cool uses for this. And the final thing I would like to see with this locator bar is an option to move it. I do not like that it's the XP bar because, for example, it becomes very confusing, especially for players who don't really know what it is, and especially with it being enabled by default. If I was a new player, it's very weird how you start having just symbols on your XP bar. Now I think it should be there by default, but maybe there could be a video setting or an accessibility setting that you could move it. Maybe the options are, for example, XP bar. They could also just move the locator bar to the top of the screen like how most games have it. But maybe there is a reason for it being in the XP bar that we don't know yet. But once again, I just think it would be cool for that option if players want to move it. If the option was there, I definitely would move it to the top of my screen because I think it would look way better at the top of your screen. But anyway, that's where I'm going to end this video. If you did enjoy, do like and subscribe. Let me know if you guys have any idea of how the locator bar can be improved in the comments, because it definitely does have potential. But I'll see you guys next time. Bye.